Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Blu-Roy Movies. I hope we're all doing well. Today I've got some pickups for you. I've got some eBay. I've got some CEX. I've got some Amazon, and I've got a couple of charity shop things. Some pretty decent stuff. Well, I think so. You might think it's crap. Mostly all Blu-rays, 4K. But before I do get into this, I just want to ask you, please, or inform you, that tonight I'm going to be on my first ever live stream. I've never done a live stream before, and it's going to be on Ollie Loves Films channel. And I think he's done one live stream before, so this is only his second one. And I believe it's going to be myself, Ollie, and we're going to be joined by Sam from Sammy G's World of Cinema. So it should be quite a good laugh. Like I say, we're totally novices. I think Sam's done quite a few, so he might be the glue that holds everything together. I'm going to leave a link down below to Ollie's channel, so if you've got just a little bit of time this evening, please come along and just say hello and just say you're looking in, and we'll have a bit of a chat, ask us some questions or whatever. Just only if you can only spare a few minutes, just look in and say hi, because it would mean the world to me, and I'm sure it would mean a lot to Ollie and Sam too, that we're not just going to be talking to ourselves, which I'm a bit worried is going to happen, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's get on with these pickups. Look, I bust me glasses. Look at that. What a prat. Look like I'm chucked up with. So they're not sitting on my head very well. But I've been for an eye test yesterday, and I've got new ones on the way, but I've just got to wait for a couple of weeks. But they're not sitting very well on my head. So if you see them slipping down my nose, that's what it is. I can see now. Right, let's get on with it anyway. Enough of this bloody waffling. First up, a couple of charity shop pickups. 50p each. The first one being Alien vs Predator. I've seen all the Alien films, including the one that come out last year. I've seen, I think, all the Predator films, apart from the latest one about 4 or 5 years ago that everybody hated. But I've never seen Alien vs Predator 1 or 2. I've heard they're not the best, but we'll give it a go. I'm sure there'll be some fun to be taken out of it. Yeah, Alien vs Predator. Now, this one, I need a bit of help from my horror aficionados that watch me. If you could help me out with this one, because The Wicker Tree. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is in some way connected to the Wicker Man, because it's the same director, which I can't remember his name, but I had a look through his filmography, and he's only directed a couple of films, The Wicker Man and this one, The Wicker Tree. So if it's a sequel or it's just in the same universe, I've no idea. So I'd really appreciate a bit of knowledge on that one. I've had a look at IMDb. It doesn't look a very good film, but I do like me folk horror type stuff, so I'm sure I'll get something out of it. And look at this, when I've got it home and opened it up, there was also a copy of The Wicker Man in there. So whoever owned it before it went to the charity shop must have liked both films and stuck them both together. Yeah, the first one's an absolute classic, isn't it? Like, some people don't get on with it, but I do like it. You remember them films we used to get free in the newspapers? I've got a big stack of them down there, and I shall keep that one in there for posterity and all that jazz. Next up, we'll go with CX. Now, I traded in that bloody god-awful Enter the Video Store box set, and when I traded mine in, the manager says, "Oh, I had that, traded mine in too. Bloody awful, isn't it?" So yeah, we had quite a good laugh about that. So I traded that in, and a couple of other bits and bobs. And normally I do spend my vouchers online, but I had a quick look at what was in store, and they had 4 titles I wouldn't mind picking up, so that's just what I did. The first one is a film that come out a couple of years ago, and I've heard really good things about it, actually. I think it's sort of like a psychological thriller type thing, where the crawdads sing. Not in the best condition in this case. I'm going to have to swap that out. Yeah, because I don't know a lot about it, but other than it's sort of a psychological thriller. And it says, based on the global best-selling phenomenon, which I've got no idea what that phenomenon. It obviously passed me by. I'm assuming it was a book first. Again, anybody with any knowledge superior to mine, which doesn't take a lot of doing, let me know down there. And next up, one for my vintage classics collection, which, if you saw last week, I made a video about, and I was really pleased with the feedback, as I always am. You guys always give me some great feedback, which makes me do YouTube more than anything, to be honest. School for Scoundrels, one that I don't know a lot about. Ian Carmichael, Terry Thomas, Jeanette Scott, and Alistair Sim. Who, I love Alistair Sim. I'm always going to get something with Alistair Sim in, be it vintage classics or not. Yes, that's another one to the collection. Next up, a BFI title. I think this one was a £5 a month in the country. Reason being, Colin Firth in it. I do like Colin Firth. He's one of a favourite actor of mine. And it looks like it's about some soldiers coming back from World War One and adjusting back into society, which again is a subject that interests me and something that I know I'm going to like. And a BFI title for that sort of price, I'm going to always pick that up. And last up from CX, a Criterion, and much the same as with BFI. I think this one was £10 with my voucher. I see a Criterion at a decent price. I'm always going to pick it up. Defending Your Life, starring Albert Brooks and directed by Albert Brooks and Meryl Streep. And I hadn't heard of the film, I'm going to be perfectly honest, before I picked it up, but reading about it, it looks like a sort of a fantasy type thing where when you die, you go to this sort of city that's sort of like a holding pen, where they decide your journey on from there, whether you're going to go where the good boys go or where you're going to go where the naughty boys and girls go. So, yeah, again, a subject that looks like it'll be interesting. And Albert Brooks, Meryl Streep, great cast. I'm going to pick that up for a good price. Yeah, looking forward to that. And Judgment City, it says on there, I imagine that's what they call the city you go to before it's decided where you're going to go. What an interesting concept that is. Just thinking about it now and talking about it does sound good. Next up, 2 from eBay. The first one being, again, talking of Sammy G. He recently picked this up, and he was telling me what a good film it is, and that's marvellous. A football film based on a true story, I believe, about a kit man at, I think he said it was Sheffield United. Never heard of it before, but Sammy gave it such a glowing endorsement that I thought I'd pick that up, and I think it's about £3 or £4. It's cheap as chips, as they say. So, yeah, I'll grab that. And last from eBay, I asked you guys a couple of weeks ago about Donald Sutherland. I love Donald Sutherland, but some big holes in his filmography I haven't seen, and some suggestions. And you guys come back with Clute, which looks like some sort of political thriller, which I'm going to enjoy, I know. You guys give this glowing endorsement, directed by Alan Pakula, Donald Sutherland himself, and Jane Fonda. I got it for a good price, actually. I think it's about £20 in CX, and I paid half of that on eBay. So, yeah, really pleased to pick that up, and one that I should be getting to quite quickly, I believe. And next up, my Amazon purchases. Now, I've got this thing at work, and I think it's called Perk Box, and every now and again, my work, they drop points into it, and you can swap it for vouchers, you can spend it in Costa and stuff like that, and Amazon is one of the options, so I converted mine to a £10 voucher, and then the vintage classics are on sale 2 for 15, so for net cost of a £5, I've added 2 more into the collection. The first one being, and back again, The Wicker Tree. Again, a film seems to be a bit Marmite, but I really like The Wicker Tree. And The Wicker Man. We spoke about The Wicker Tree earlier, bloody hell. Yeah, I like The Wicker Man. I think it's a cracking film. It's a slow burn, which isn't for everybody, but I just love how it builds up the tension as we get into this island full of weird and wonderful folk, and Edward Woodward trying to get to the bottom of the mystery of what's going on. Britt Ekland, it's worth watching it for Britt Ekland. Yeah, great film. And I've doubled to go with that for the offer. A film I used to have, and I had it in digibook form, which I don't like digibooks, and I did stupidly trade it in, then regret it afterwards because it's one that I wanted to watch again. And that's Dirk Bogarde in The Servant. I said a couple of weeks ago, I got a video of Dirk Bogarde when he's got a bit of an edge and a nasty character and a bit of a warped character, how good he is. And The Servant's no different. It's a great film about how he goes and works in service for this guy, and he gradually takes over the house and the running of it. And yeah, good psychological thriller that is. It's right up my street. And next up I got I think Stuart just picked this up and watched it, and it's a big hole in my library. Rain Man, Dustin Hoffman, and yeah, a film I should have seen many years ago, but I haven't, and it was a good price on Amazon. I think it's about £8, so I've picked myself up a copy. And Stuart, he'd watched it as well for the first time recently, and he was quite blown away with it, I think. So I'll see how I get on with that, but I'm pretty sure that is one I am going to like. And last for this little haul, the only 4K of the haul, in a nice slip, Jason Bourne. Again, this was cheap as chips, £5 or £6. I've been watching all the Bournes again on 4K, and spoiler for the weekly watches, this will be appearing in this week's weekly watch video. Yeah, really like me Bourne films, and actually this one was no exception. Yeah, so that's it. That's everything I've picked up last couple of weeks or so. Let me know down below what you think, and if you could help me out with that Wicker Tree, and what else was it? There was something else, wasn't there? Oh, Where the Crawdads Sing. Was that a book? I've no idea, but apparently it was a phenomenon. It went over my head and landed out there in the hallway somewhere, if it was. Give me a big thumbs up if you've liked what I've done here today. Maybe think about subscribing. And if you can, yeah, call in tonight, and even if it's just to say hi, and I'd appreciate that. It'd mean the world to me, and it'll mean the world to the other guys. Thanks, guys. Have a nice day. See you later.